expenses and then add ways to get an increase in income. If I'm working with weight loss, I want to remove the trigger foods and then add the coping skills so that when stress hits, we don't go to become emotional eaters. Does that make sense? So we're removing first and adding second. Transcendental meditation, since we talked about it. Some people will say, I don't have time. I know that doesn't happen in Detroit, but in other places, people actually say that. I don't have time. Isn't that crazy? So what we say is, remove wasted time to open up a bucket of fresh, valuable time, right? So we all have more time than we think. We waste so much time. I don't know if anyone here, is anyone in here on social media? Probably one of the greatest time wasters that we ever created as a human race, okay? We have people, we put them on diets. I've got so many real estate agents and entrepreneurs and network marketers that we take them off of social media multiple days a week. They can't even go on. And the very first thought is, no, I must be there to promote my business, to make my sales. And then the very next thing I'll say is, show me the record of sales directly from social media in the last 6 months. I just want, that's all I'm asking for. Just show me the direct result of it. And they go, oh, I haven't made any money in 6 months off social media. I go, oh, interesting. I don't think taking that out of your life is going to hurt very much then. Other than you're not going to be able to waste time, right? If you can get focused on this one thing that you'd rather not do, that you've procrastinated, denied, delayed, your life will radically change. So now listen, I think I'm such a great example of failure that I've become a good example of success because I avoided all this stuff forever. I didn't want to mess with my addictions. I didn't want to mess with my codependency and intimate relationships, and let me tell you what that's all about. Oh, my Lord. You know, you may, if you look down at the bottom, the very last one, it says relationships with others. And if you go across from that and you think of all the people you've dated that are unhealthy and wackos and whatever other words we use, it really should be grab a mirror. Grab that mirror. So let me tell you a story. 1997. A lot happened in 96, 97 for me, didn't it? It really did. I don't know how it all happened in 2 years, but it did. 1997, another counselor in town, a friend of mine, says to me, I've got some relationship stuff going on with my partner, and could we exchange services? And I said, absolutely. And she said, do you have anything you want to work on? I go, no, but I'll just come on in. And isn't that funny? No, I'm cool. So we come in, we spend a month together, and she calls me up and says, hey, I want to thank you so much for the work with my relationship. It's starting to turn around. Is there any way you can come in today just for a few minutes? And I said, yeah, sure, why? And she said, I got something really important I want to run by you. I said, okay. So I came in, and she said, David, sit down. I got to tell you something. Kind of like the Maharishi story. You may not want to hear this. But she said, you know, you and I have been doing this for a very long time. And I don't know if you know this, but you are the most codependent man in intimate relationships I have ever met in my entire life. I go, remember when we were friends? I said, what are you talking about? Now, in 1997, even though I'm a counselor, the only thing that I really focused on with codependency was from the book Codependent No More, which is about being in a relationship with an alcoholic. It's basically the whole book is about that. And I go, I'm not dating alcoholics. I can't be codependent. And she started walking down this list she had written of all the stuff I was saying. And it was true. So I was a big fan of saving women. So I would look for people that needed to be saved, right? Because it boosted my ego, it made me feel great. They loved it for the first 30 days. Right? So they're ecstatic because they're with David Essel, and he's a counselor, and he's a minister, and he's a life coach, and he does financial training and all this kind of stuff. And oh my gosh, I'm so lucky because he's going to be able to help me. And I'd say, you know what? We are going to knock it out of the park, and I see your potential is through the roof, and I'm going to help you reach your potential. But here's the truth. When you're a savior, there are hooks involved with everything. There's always a hook.